Welcome to Laura's Story of Crisis. This is the part 3 of her story. Having found her values, her wheel of life, we now move on using Laura from my coaching world to help her identify her strength. This is the step third, the most crucial step, specifically when we are looking for a possible solution when we are dealing with difficult times, hardships, or adversities. During these times, knowing or being aware of our strength can not only help us with the positive reinforcement that we need, but these strengths would also help us build our resiliency muscle. You must be wondering, why would somebody in the crisis need to gauge their strength? And after having understood the gap that Laura found in her wheel of domain, the various domains of life when she assessed them, after which she went on to learn what was important to her in her life through her values. This is a tool. It's quite simple, and through which Laura will learn basically the strengths she holds. Now, there are various ways of figuring out what our strengths are, what really brings that courage, that power inside us when we face or we strive in our difficult times. This particular tool, just like Laura, I would urge you to use because knowing our strength is our another step to deep dive into ourself. The more we are aware of ourself, the more we are aware of our strengths, the better equipped we are to deal on or take on difficult times and our challenges. So let's dive in. And just like Laura, let's do the work. So go ahead, pause this video, grab a pen and a paper, and let's explore our strength. What you see on your screen are description of 24 positive character attributes. I will also share a link through which you can run an online survey, which will also help you find out your strength. Now, what you really need to do here is, from this 24 positive character attributes, you just need to select only 5, no less, no more, just only 5. And that forms your strength. So, excuse me. I'm sorry for my intermittent cough here. Pause this video if you want to and sit through it, read through it, and reflect. And pick only 5 out of the 24 positive character attributes. This is a tool that makes it easier for you to understand what your strengths are. Along with this, I shall share a link, as I mentioned earlier, through which you could understand what are your strengths, just the way Laura did. Having found your strengths, using this template, write your strengths from either the 24 character attributes that you just picked up from or the survey that you just did. Whatever the case may be, pick up those top 5 strengths and you could use this template and write it this way in your notebook that you're right now taking notes on. Once you're done with this, let's understand that these strengths will help you identify how you could get closer to your goals. So, in the journey of Laura, and if you are following me in the series, this is the third part where we understood where are the gaps in the life domains. Then we understood the values, what's really important to us in life. Now, having found and figured out our top 5 strengths, we will, in order to move closer to our goals, design our concrete action based on it. So list down the actions that you're going to take, which will help you move closer to your goals. Once you're done with this, I will also share with you another activity just that I had shared with Laura. This is called my strength moments, which basically will help you understand doing the same exercise in a more simpler way. So there's a template to that, which will have the date of activity, a brief description of it. Basically, what it is asking is where we write our experiences specific to our emotions and feelings. When we are listing our experience, like here for Laura, I gave her an example. I felt happy and accomplished after presenting my new marketing campaign, or I was feeling dreadful. So you see here that there is a very specific mention of how you felt and how was your experience. The emotions and feelings are very specifically shared and not through vague sentences like I enjoyed. Enjoy is vague because it is not specifying the emotion and experience in it. And once you've done this, and I'll show you, this is the template through which you will write the date on which you had performed a particular activity basis on your action items. How was the experience? What do you give your enjoyment level score here on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being less, 10 being high? And how was your energy level on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being less, 10 being high? You would write or pick out the strength used in that activity. Basically, friends, when I did this with Laura, what I intend to help her understand is just merely identifying those 5 strengths from that 24 character attributes is not enough. Another way of doing it is you could keep that list aside and list down specific to the challenging times, hardships, or experiences you have in life when you deal with it firsthand, like you're really experiencing a difficult time and how you deal with it. Now, what we are doing here is we are taking that experience and splitting it into a template that you see here. And we are giving within that activity or that exercise, we are specifying the emotion we have felt. And to that emotion, the enjoyment level, the feeling of fulfillment, we are giving a score. To our energies, we are giving a score. And within that activity, we are also trying to figure out what is the strength we have used. So doing this basically is helping you get a more deeper sense of how you have been behaving in a difficult circumstance. What typically do you do? Do you pray? Do you journal? Do you meditate? Do you talk to a friend? Do you seek support? Do you go to a therapist? Do you hire a coach? What is it that you do? Or anything else that you've been doing when you go through a tough time. Now, to that activity, you now attach a score of how much you enjoyed and the energy level. These two are important because here's where you will figure out whether there was strength that you possess and you've used in this activity. So let's say you're going through a tough time, you have a toxic boss. And while you dealt with your boss in a very matured way, your strength you've used here is your emotional intelligence. But you will find that out when you write that activity specific with your boss, that particular experience, and then your emotion of how he had pushed your buttons and you felt angry, but yet you refrained from giving back. And then enjoyment here is not about anything to do with happiness. It's more about how engaging it was. So were you really in grip of your emotions? And energy level here is, did you felt like you want to give up? And then the strength you've used here is the emotional intelligence. Similarly, you can also do it for a positive activity wherein you've been motivating your child who has failed, or maybe your partner who is going through a difficult period, or having a good time with your family. In each of your experiences, when you put it into a template like this, you will be able to find how much do you enjoy? What is it that you do when you face a tough time? What are your energy levels during each of these experiences? And what are the strengths that you use? In this area, wherever you will find blank spaces, you will understand that there are certain activities where you don't use your strength, even though you have it, or there are activities where you could have missed out using your strength, or you completely forgot that this is your strength because you're so caught up in the crisis itself. I did this activity with Laura. I'm not sharing her details here. This is on account of confidentiality, but I'm sharing the template which you could use and help you identify. Once you have your top 5 strengths, which you just made out of those 24 character attributes, here's where you will identify after doing this activity. Do you really use your strength, or are you not using it? And if you're not using it, what is it that you could do to use it? I hope this is clear. If you have any questions around this, I shall share my coordinates. Feel free to reach out to me and ask more. I call this the reflecting space. So use this space. Once you've done with this exercise, sit down and read through your notes. Understand your top 5 strengths. Also, understand in during the crisis, the difficult times, how have you been using your strength? Are you really using them or not? Or what are the other lessons or insights you just got after doing this activity? Laura has her own set of insights. Again, on confidentiality purposes, I'm not sharing this here, but just letting you know that this is a crucial part once you're done with and have identified your strengths. Thank you.